Aloha, and welcome to the third and final episode of Talk Story with House Majority, our third season. My name is Della Albalati, and I'm the State House Majority Leader representing the areas of Makiki, Tantalus, and Punchbowl. It's my pleasure to be here on this program. We have an exciting program. We did a far fewer episodes this season, but I'm really excited about this day in particular. It's a historic day for Native Hawaiians. Today, this morning, Governor David Ige signed into law Act 279, House Bill 2511, which makes a huge commitment of monies towards the Department of Hawaiian Homelands. In fact, as Director Chair William Ila said, it is the most significant investment made, most consequential investment made by the state in the history of the Department of Hawaiian Homelands. We have some special guests here. Our very special guest chair, Nakashima, Mark Nakashima from Hawaii Island, who's going to be here to talk about some of the important legislation passed. In addition, we have a very, very special guest from Hawaii Island who we're going to bring on later on into the show, so please, you have to stay tuned. For you today, we also have a discussion about the veto overrides. Today is July 11th, 2022. Tomorrow is the governor's deadline to veto any bills of the 2022 legislative session. And we, of course, have our community segments to share with you on our visit to Hawaii Island. This is the only episode of Talk Story where we've had the opportunity since the waning of the pandemic to be able to go out and visit our neighbor islands. So I was so fortunate to be able to visit Hawaii Island. I want to introduce you very quickly to Representative Mark Nakashima, who's joining with me. Say hi, Mark, to the audience.
Hello.
We're going to first cut to a video segment of Hilo Medical Center, where I get to visit the wonderful facilities on Hawaii Island that Chair Nakashima has been so instrumental in supporting. So let's take it away to Hilo Medical Center. Here today at Hilo Medical Center with the CEO, Dan Brickman. Dan, I was here maybe 3 years ago, way before the pandemic, and there were so many exciting things happening. So pre-pandemic, what was happening here at Hilo Medical Center?
I think a lot of time and effort was spent on building our infrastructure around just providing great health care. There's so much behind the scenes that you see at a hospital that honestly most of our patients don't, but if we want to grow and improve, we have to invest in that. So I would say those years were a lot of tee up to doing some really great things.
And COVID hit. We shut down, but hospitals were still working. What was happening here at the hospital at Hilo Medical Center?
Well, I think like everyone, we were like, oh my gosh, right? And how can we manage this crisis? And then it changed constantly for 2 years. I think one thing that came out of it is really the need to be flexible and also to focus on your community, because there was a lot of apprehension. And hospitals were put in a position where in some ways they were responsible not for just providing the shots and so forth, but also educating and reassuring the patients. And then when we, of course, unfortunately had a lot come to the hospital during some of the surges, our staff really had to step up. We were full 1.5 times. It was like I couldn't believe that we could keep finding more places for patients, but the whole team responded admirably. It was like a really good thing.
So in addition to the critical care that you folks continue to provide throughout the pandemic, you were also still focused on building out the medical center. What kinds of exciting things were happening during the pandemic that we now see coming to fruition?
Well, it's a great question. I love talking about that. But we were fortunate all the way through the pandemic to still be able to keep our plans and our expansions of service going through that rough time. We had plans to build or expand our cancer services here. I think you saw some of those when you came the last time. And there's a building going up across the street, so we'll have more space to do infusions, and people who need cancer treatment, they don't have to fly. They can get that treatment here. It's really tough on patients when they have to leave. That building should open in December, and I think it served the purpose of keeping the community working too. It's not a small thing. It was, during the pandemic, a lot of people were worried about jobs swabs and so forth, and that was very helpful. And then for a long time we've been focused on heart attack care, cardiology care, and that's been in the works for years, and it's really come to fruition. We were able to get our first cath lab working, and now our second one is operational. We're not only treating heart attacks on the east side of the island, but now we're getting most of the heart attacks that occur. It's like, not that we really want them, but it's the best place to treat them. They don't have to fly, and it really saves a lot of lives. So that's been really exciting for us in the last couple of years.
So as we move out of the pandemic, what are going to be some of the future plans that Hilo Medical Center might be looking at?
So great question, and we're really, I guess if I summarized our in a couple of sentences or in one sentence, our plans is just to have a lot of great care close to home. So you don't have to fly to get, I guess, the things or the health care that you would expect in any size community like this on the mainland or in any of the other islands, right? I think we big island folks deserve that, but it takes a long time to get there. So we've been adding just incrementally to different services like urology and pulmonology, the common diseases, unfortunately, that we all have to deal with, to have those services here so you can get your health managed. And again, make sure it's high quality. So we can't go indefinitely. We just want to get to the right size for our community.
Well, I'm so appreciative because, I think everyone here in the state is connected to one another. I have family here in Hilo. I know that people come and travel here, live and work here, and just every community deserves the health care that you folks are providing here. So one last final thought to our audience was, if there's any one message you want to share with our Talk Story audience, what would that be?
Well, and maybe most of this is directed to Big Island people, but we treat everyone as our family, our friends, our neighbors, and that's what drives all our caregivers here. And if you have to come and get care here, rest assured we'll do our best for you.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.